Hi, I just wanted to talk a couple minutes about ways to get movement in. I think that a lot of times when we coaches talk to people about exercise, that there's this mentality that exercise means we're all in. And that does not have to be the case. And what I mean by that is, we tend to think that if we're going to exercise, it's got to be 5 days a week for an hour, or we have to go running, we have to do something intense. And that's really not the case. Like if we are somebody who does zero movement, then we can start small. Literally, we can walk, from our front door down to the corner and back. Or we could do simple things like push-ups off the wall or some squats. Like you can just be standing in your kitchen and do some squats, and you can, set a timer for, doing stuff like that. When I first started exercising, so like, for example, so over 7 years ago, when I started my health journey, I waited for about 5 months before I did any exercise. And when I started, all I did was turn on some of my favorite 80s music and dance around my living room. I must have looked super silly. I just moved around so that my heart rate would get up. I did things like, elbow to knee to the music. I would run up and down my stairs. I ran circles around my couch, and I would just do it until I felt like I couldn't keep going. And that's literally what I did when I started. And then I started trying to do like some actual exercise routine. So I would and I would recall, I had like recall from like, what did I used to do way back when? And so I would get down on the floor and I would do like leg lifts, and I would try to do push-ups off of my knees, which at that point I could probably do like two. I would swing my arms around. I mean, I did like just silly stuff that I thought was like exercise. And eventually I joined the gym. And then when I went to the gym, at first I didn't know anything. Like I didn't know what I was doing. All I'd ever done at a gym before really was like the machines. And I had always attempted to do classes. So when I joined the gym, I literally just like I would sit on one machine and I would do that. And then I would go to the next. So like I would do all the machines. So it was like a full body workout, but I was only doing like one set, and I don't even know how many reps. But all I know is every time I went, I would make my round, like my workout was done if I got on every single machine. And then I attempted to do like some different classes and stuff, but they weren't my favorite. I really had a lot of like anxiety about doing classes because when I was obese, I would attempt to do those and I would never complete a class. I would always like wait for the instructor to like, when I thought she was not looking or something, and I would dodge out. I would just blow out of there because I was exhausted and felt like I was going to die. It's not easy to do an aerobic type class when you're 260 pounds. So when I first went to the gym, I had already lost about 40 something pounds. I started out doing the machines. I would occasionally try a class. And then eventually my eye was on the weight room, and like the people in there, and like people in there had muscles and like just I don't know, I was drawn to that. So then I stepped out of my comfort zone and I went over to the weight room. But anyway, my point is that we all start somewhere, and it's okay to start small. Don't let the wrong mentality about movement hold you back from doing something. If all you can do is 10 minutes, then 10 minutes is better than 0 minutes. So some of the things you could do push-ups off the wall. That's where like you're leaning against, you put your hands flat against the wall and literally just push yourself on and off the wall. You could do that on your countertop also, which might be a little bit more difficult depending on the angle. You could do squats, you could do lunges, you could run circles. You could do like the knee high thing where like you lift your knee up and touch your elbow to your knee. You can do leg lifts. There's lots of things you can do. And you can go to YouTube, and if you do a search on YouTube for couch exercises or exercises for the obese or exercises for the disabled, if you do search any of those, you will find simple exercises that you can start with. And what you'll discover is what you're capable of. And, then you'll start searching for things that are a little bit more challenging. And here's the thing about exercise. Everybody always thinks that you have to be motivated to do something. But if we wait for motivation, we very rarely would do something. What we really need is action. If we take action and we just start doing, the motivation comes because we feel so good about taking the action. We feel good about seeing, following through, seeing something through. So motivation doesn't come first, action comes first, and then we become motivated. So anyway, I hope that encourages you to just do some sort of movement. You don't have to go all in 5 days a week for an hour. You can start small, doing something small, and then as you progress, it'll become more challenging. You can do more challenging things.